Hey guys, it is Ryan. I'm not sure if you know this about me, but I'm a bit of a fun fanatic when I can. I like to work, but I like fun too. And now I can tell you about my favorite place to have fun. Chumba Casino. They have hundreds of social casino style games to choose from with new games released each week. You can play for free and each day brings a new chance to collect daily bonuses. So join me in the fun. Sign up now at ChumbaCasino.com.
Sponsored by Chumba Casino. No purchase necessary. VGW Group. Void where prohibited by law. 18 plus. Terms and conditions apply.
Why choose a Sleep Number smart bed?
Can I make my side softer?
Can I make my side firmer? Can we sleep cooler?
Sleep Number does that. Cools up to 8 times faster and lets you choose your ideal comfort on either side. Your Sleep Number setting. And now, during our Black Friday sale, save 50% on the Sleep Number limited edition smart bed. Plus free home delivery when you add a base. And Cyber Monday. To find a store near you, visit sleepnumber.com.
Welcome to Uncluttered and Unfiltered, the podcast urging you to let it go and don't look back, with nationally acclaimed professional organizer Christine Stone and self-proclaimed hot damn mess radio and TV personality Eden Kendall.
Welcome, everybody, to Uncluttered and Unfiltered, the podcast for women over 50. You might find yourself getting a little more organized having listened to it, because half of us are professional organizers and the other half, there's only 2 of us on the show. Right. The other half are like messes. But as you just heard in our intro, we have special guests today. And so I'll introduce my special guest, and then Christine, you'll introduce your special guest. And then before we get started really delving into some questions and answers that we've prepared, I just wanted to put a few subjects out there. So please welcome my special guest. He is my husband of 29 years. This is Steve, everybody.
Hello, everyone.
Hi, Steve.
Hey, Steve.
And this is my husband, Mitch Stone, and we will be married tomorrow 36 years.
36
36, right?
Woo!
36.
I always ask him. I always forget, and he has to tell me.
So we are actually recording this on a Monday, and so we really, when I say we considered having alcohol
We did.
involved in this recording, we both looked at your schedules, both of you guys, and you have pretty important things you have to do moving forward in the day. So we were going to do mimosas, and we felt like that was a good idea to loosen everyone up.
Right.
So now you're just going to have to pretend
You're loose.
you're loose on mimosas, okay?
It'd be a very unproductive afternoon.
The first thing Mitch said when he walked in, and he goes, "This could cost us half our stuff."
That's a lawyer speaking.
So you guys, one of the things we were talking about before we got started was Steve has a bump on his head. You can't tell because he asked me to bring my makeup, and I
And
covered
you did
it.
a good job.
Thank you, because I'm looking, I can't even remember what side it's on. I have bruised elbows. Christine, you have a bruised shin.
Oh, my gosh.
Mitch, do you have any
Do
bruises?
you have any bruises? He normally does because he's a surfer.
Today, nothing. Everything is good.
Wow.
That's
Shocking.
amazing. You're the only one.
Do you know how I bruised my shin? I hit the laundry basket that was sitting on the floor, a laundry basket, and I have a bruise that's been there for 2 weeks.
I thought you bruised it on the generator walking through the tailgate at Florida, Georgia.
No, that
Tell the truth.
That was the second time in 1 week.
Okay.
So it's never had a chance to heal, because right when it was healing, bam, I hit something else with my shin.
At the big football game
Yeah, the Florida,
tailgating
Georgia
party.
tailgate.
Okay.
I'm sure there was alcohol involved there.
No.
But our daughter was parading us through a tailgate that we had no business being in.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, we brought
Yeah.
the average age up by about 40 years.
The Wall Street Journal came out with a story today, believe it or not, about parents partying at their kids' colleges. And when we went to visit both of our kids for their sorority and fraternity parents' weekends, we definitely did that. But when I was a kid in college, when your parents came to visit, you went out to a nice dinner, and then
that
you
was
ditched
it.
your parents and you went out with your friends after.
Exactly.
Now, when you go visit your kids in college, there's an expectation to actually go out and be social, and they expect you to hang with them.
Yeah. Yeah.
And the next day, it's really rough.
Yeah.
Really rough.
Yeah. Yeah. I wasn't a big partier with the kids when they were in college. Even back then, I had a bedtime of 9. I was never a really late night person. Kids in college, they don't start till midnight.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
So, Chris, you prepared some questions for Steve, and I have some questions for Mitch. This is a getting to know us kind of deal.
Yeah. The first thing is an organizer. And because I did a whole series organizing Eden, and if you haven't listened to it or seen it, you have to see it. It's absolutely spectacular.
And so many tidbits and so useful. You can hear it. You can also see it on our Patreon page.
Yes. So I have to know, Steve, how has it been living in a newly organized closet space with Eden?
It's definitely different because you can actually see where everything is.
There you go, Eden. Thank you, Steve.
And I have had people go, wow, you have way too many clothes, Steve. So I appreciate you guys putting me out there.
Yeah, because she made a point to say, like, you have more than I do.
Yes. So I've been getting a lot of grief from people I know that listen to the podcast.
But it was sweatshirts. It was guy things. You know what I mean? It was a lot of sweatshirts and football stuff and that kind of stuff.
We can't throw those things away. I got yelled at about a t-shirt yesterday. It's about time for that t-shirt to go. And I'm like, it's so
And it had holes in it. And he counts it as his red shirt for any event that has to do with red, white, and blue. Like yesterday, it was Veterans Weekend. And he's wearing it as his red shirt. And I'm like, that red shirt has holes in it. But it's the only thing in his whole drawer that is red.
So, yeah.
But we take pride when we have something that we go, hey, I've had this for 25 years.
Yeah, it's so awesome, isn't it?
What is the oldest item you have, Mitch? Do you have anything that you still tried out, or is it, let me guess, it's some old gator?
As a matter of fact, it is. I had a case that brought me to Gitmo of all places. And when I was there meeting some people on base who went to Florida, and they go, you have to be a member of the Guantanamo Bay Gator Club. So they gave me a shirt. I still have that shirt. Every time she tries to get rid of it, I'm like, I can't get rid of that shirt.
Guantanamo Bay Gator Club. Yeah. That's actually so cool. I can see why you'd want to hang on to that.
Pretty sure that's about 20 years old.
You probably have to make quite a case for that when your wife is a professional organizer.
Yes.
Be willing. Do you have to do like a PowerPoint and explain why you want to keep it?
Hide it deep in my t-shirt drawer.
Can't leave it exposed.
No, not at all. Okay, so you have to go ahead.
Okay, so my turn now. So my question for Mitch is, given the fact that Christine is a professional organizer and this is not a new way of living for you, what is something that you have learned from her? Like a habit maybe that you've picked up, or something that you've just learned from being around her?
That you could actually wipe up the water on the sink after you get done brushing your teeth.
You found that out?
I never knew that.
That's amazing.
Why would you do that?
And is that something now that you do?
I do, and I even wipe the mirror.
He's so proud of himself. Look how proud he is.
But I never noticed the drops of water before. I honestly have never even noticed.
Well, it's not drops. He is like a dolphin or a whale. He takes the water and sprays it all over everything. And I've never seen anything like that.
I find this hard to believe. Thank goodness. Thank goodness you didn't end up with someone like me.
Needed like
we would have that all the time.
Self-cleaning bathroom that just you close the door and it
just with drains on the floor and just a big tornado comes through.
See, that wouldn't bother you, would it?
No, it would not.
See,
and that's why I say thank goodness we all landed with who we did, because I don't even want to know what kind of. I'm still to this day trying to remember to always wipe out my sink and
see.
He's the neat one. Steve's the neat one there. So,
but isn't that funny though?
So Eden and I will invent the self-cleaning stainless steel bathroom,
or just
to wipe down.
Wouldn't that be great? But even stainless steel, I can see Christine right now. She's going, oh, the drops on stainless steel.
Yeah, I wouldn't do stainless, but
titanium.
It would have to have one of those giant fans like at the car wash that blows it off so hard.
That's what we need for him.
Blows it off.
After he's been at the sink, it'll be like at the car wash where it'll just blow all the water away. It'd be great.
But that's what I thought was happening. I didn't realize that she was going in there and wiping it down for me.
Yeah.
Nice.
He thought he had some
You would love to have one button to push and then the bathroom would be clean.
That and laundry.
But isn't it funny though that in most relationships, it is opposites?
Really
because
is.
Honestly, if I were married to me, it would probably drive me insane. Or vice versa, if he was married to someone who wasn't cleanliness then it would probably drive him crazy.
Yeah. I don't know why opposites attract, but they definitely do. They do. But yeah. So we've established now, like, I'm the drops in the sink person for sure.
And so is Mitch.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So I also have to say, I've learned so much from Eden doing this podcast, so much. I wouldn't even know where to begin. So what's one thing you've learned being married to Eden all these years?
The one thing I've learned is don't say no right off the bat, because I guess I had a bad habit of saying, we should do this. No, we can't do that. It's not possible. So I get called a negative guy when I say no. So now I've learned to say yes.
At least,
at least try it, right?
Like, or maybe yes.
Make me out of my comfort zone.
Yeah.
He's laughing because he's me. I'm always, we can't do that. No, try it.
I'm just going, my point is just try to be a yes before a no. If your instant answer is always going to be yes or always going to be no, it should always be maybe, I think.
So I think I'm better.
You're so much better.
I'm still.
And that's not a critique on how you were. It's just we were so different like that. I'd be like, should we move this couch here to there? No, that won't work. Why don't we move the couch and then decide if it's going to work?
Interesting. Very.
Part of that is because then we have to move the couch.
Yes. That's a huge part of it. But that also, you got to remember too, there's a flip side to everything. Whereas I'm saying, I'm a yes person all the time. That can get me in trouble. So thank goodness.
Right.
For someone who's not always a yes person.
Yes.
Someone's a no person. My beef might be you should be saying yes more, but maybe in the reality, it should be exactly how it is.
Right.
Evened out.
Yeah, because you can't say yes to everything. That's my thought.
And you and I have that same kind of conversation.
We do.
There's a lot of times where I'm like, why don't we try this? Okay, but let's think about that.
Yep.
And then a lot of times you'll change your mind and come around to yes.
Yep.
And a lot of times I'll change my mind and realize that I'm very much into let's do it. And then I realize what that would entail.
Right. That's true.
So what about you, Mitch? You're a yes guy? Yes first.
Typically, yes first. Which is, I have to admit, it's probably not as good to do that all the time because people ask you to do this. Oh, yeah, sure, I'll do that. And then you realize, what did I get myself into?
On the surface, it sounds like a really fun quality, right?
Yes.
It sounds, would you rather be the yes guy or the no guy? But in reality, when you're trying to keep your family afloat, when you've got to take care of things and you want to make sure that everybody's safe, you need a no guy.
Right. Yes. So it balances it out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just so funny that you and I balance out. We're each other's yin and yang, and we found our own.
Yes, exactly.
Yin and yang to go with that. So that was what question was that? What have you learned?
Yes.
Okay.
What is one thing that is totally different about the two of you that is night and day? And how long do we have to do this?
Yeah. Let me look at the clock real quick. I would say the main thing is maybe organization and just the overall cleanliness of the house. And that's not like dirty, but it's just like
a whirlwind.
I was brought up in a house where it was like, pick that. So
Me too.
I blame my parents for that. But even if we've all heard the travel story where she lost her passport.
Oh my God.
You know, I'm the guy that's checking phone, wallet, keys, passport, everything constantly and making sure we have all the flight info. So my family likes to give me a hard time about being over the top of organization, but I like to know, where are we parking? Get to the airport early. And they're opposite of that.
But secretly, when I heard the passport story, because I know for me, secretly, you must have said, God, this is good. She did something. We're in another country and she lost her passport. Like secretly, you had to say, I think I've proven my point here.
I said some things secretly. I try to be as supportive as possible.
One thing he said is, I'll be holding your passport in the future, which is, I'm fine with that.
Yeah, I agree. I think he deserves the right to hold your passport when you lose your passport when you're in another country. I can't even believe still they let you back in.
I know. Okay. So for those wondering, we were in LA. We just haven't gotten through clearance yet to come into the country.
Oh,
so
okay.
yeah, we had landed in LA.
Okay. So you were already in the United States.
We were in the United States, but we weren't in the United States. In other words, I couldn't leave the room. Go back and listen to a couple episodes and you'll hear the story.
It was so good.
Yeah. No worse feeling than you're in the line to go through customs and she's on the floor emptying her entire backpack. And I'm looking down going, this is not going to be good.
No.
So
yeah. Exactly. And I've seen.
Did you at least take a picture of your passport on your phone so you could show it to them?
No, and they asked me, do I have a picture of my passport on my phone? And I'm like, no. They're like, should have done that. Thank you. And thank you, Mitch. I'll never that in the future. Yeah. So now I'm in the business of trying to get my passport replaced. And they did find it, by the way, and reach out to me, but I'd already canceled it because I got nervous leaving it valid. But anyway, okay. So moving on, I also was going to say that there's a difference between us in our level of how much we want to chill on the weekends.
Oh, that's us too. So there you go.
Yeah. With me, not at all. Like I'm
and me all the time at home. So there you go.
She's good for about a day and a half of a staycation. And then she's, what are we doing? Where are we going? What are we doing? When can I go back to work?
My husband's over here laughing.
I'm like, I just can't sit.
I'm like, I'm happy here watching games and
want to go have an adventure. I don't know where we're going. I don't know, but let's go. Just anywhere. Let's go somewhere, please. All right. So I want to go to this question on the wedding day.
Okay.
Because you guys have now put on a wedding for your daughter. I'm going to guess that once that's happened, some of the memories of your own wedding, I don't want to say they disappear, but like the stress of putting on a wedding certainly has to. Like you don't remember any of the little things from your own wedding.
Oh, I remember a lot from my own wedding.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what to you is the most memorable thing? And let's see if Mitch has the same.
Okay. I'm going to let him go first only because I know this is something we both will agree on. Go ahead.
It's the most memorable thing of your wedding.
Say it. The most memorable thing that you remember from our wedding day 36 years ago.
Besides how beautiful you looked.
That's good, honey. No.
But in addition to that.
Does it involve food? Stone crabs.
Stone crabs.
All my friends, there was a huge plate of stone, one of my favorite foods. A huge plate.
Like a tower, and then it like spilled over.
It was, and it was for me. I was asked,
I did it
what
for
do you
him.
want for, and I said, I'd like stone crabs for an appetizer. By the time we got done with the pictures, I get there, there's none left. And I see all my friends with plate loads of stone crabs. And I'm like, can I get a crab? Can I just get one claw?
Just one. Nobody saved you any.
I got one. I got,
you got
a claw.
one claw. One measly claw.
I had to wrestle somebody for it, but I got it.
And you remember him whining about it.
Oh, to this day, that's all he'll talk. Even ask my mother. She'll say, oh, I remember that Mitch didn't get any stone. It's like a family lore story now. It is the one thing I always will remember about. And also, we were so young. We were babies when we got married. And I can remember stuff from then, like the back of my hand, because when you're all the hoopla that went into it, now that you've been married, as long as we have, it's like you realize the wedding day is not what a marriage.
That's what I mean when I said, do you not remember little things that went wrong? Like I had a list in my mind forever after my own wedding of every little thing that didn't go the way I planned and maybe nobody else noticed. And then I think if I were to put together a whole other wedding, I might stop worrying.
Sure.
One piece of advice I would always tell anybody was don't sweat these small things.
Yes.
Years from now, if you're sitting on a successful or unsuccessful marriage, it's the last thing you're going to think about.
Right.
So,
exactly.
So Steve, do you have any fond memories of our wedding day?
Well, I don't even remember this list of things that went wrong. So.
See, that's good.
Yes, that's really good.
But it's funny about the food. I don't even remember the food that was even there. You spend all this money for food.
Right.
As the bride and groom, you don't get to enjoy it at all. That's one thing I remember is that it's just so much going on.
Goes so fast. It really does.
And he had a friend, Joe, that had to be, and I wouldn't have minded if he would have gotten away with this, but he had this big, huge box of Cracker Jacks that he wanted to use to pull out the ring. He was one of the groomsmen, and he wanted when they said, and this is almost 30 years ago, so the joke was relevant then. Now nobody knows what Cracker Jacks are, but he was ready to pull a ring out of this giant Cracker Jacks box, and one of my bridesmaids said no. So that I have a picture in my wedding album of him like looking chagrined and holding up the Cracker Jack box, but she wouldn't let him do it, which I would have been okay with. I wouldn't have minded a little humor in the wedding, but she was doing her due diligence as a bridesmaid.
Remember his nickname was Uncle Buck.
Yeah.
Movie Uncle Buck,
yeah. See, he's that guy.
Yeah.
He's that guy. So
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. I have to know what's Eden's favorite song.
That's, that's a tough one because she just so knowledgeable in music. So I would say anything from 77 to 80 was probably her wheelhouse of her favorite songs, which we listened to
all the
on
time.
the 70s channel on.
Me too.
All the time. Yep.
Yep.
And every now and again, I'll pop in something really cheesy when we host trivia. We do once a week, we host trivia and I get to do the playlist. And some of the teams will even ask me for their cheesiest favorite 70s song because they know I'm always good for it. I think I Love You.
I was just going to say, I Think I Love You by the Partridge
like
Family.
That one
the
comes
best
up a
cheesy
lot.
song.
Such a great song.
The cheesier, the better for you.
Yeah,
Because some
I
of these
love
songs
it.
I've
I
never
love it.
heard. I'm like, what is that?
I love a good bubblegum
No
song.
wonder why you guys get along so well.
Heartbeat is a love beat by the Francos.
Ooh, I saw a picture of Leaf Garrett today. Eesh.
Yeah, it's rough. It's rough being Leaf Garrett. What about
Our quality of life matters. Menopause shouldn't take anything away from us. No two women experience it the same way.
And yet none of us are alone.
Hormone Harmony recognizes all of those symptoms we've talked about so much on this podcast, like feeling down and uncomfortable in your own body.
Hot flashes, sleepless nights.
Now it's easier to manage menopause with Hormone Harmony, science-backed herbal extracts called adaptogens. They help the body adapt to stressors like chaotic hormonal changes.
Women cannot stop talking about it on social media. A bottle of Hormone Harmony is sold every 24 seconds.
That really says something. The biggest benefit I'm hearing about is, quote, feeling like myself again. That is what women are mentioning over and over again in their reviews. For a limited time, you can get 15% off on your entire first order at happymammoth.com. Just use the code UUPodcast at checkout. That's happymammoth.com and use the code UUPodcast for 15% off today. Uncluttered and Unfiltered is supported by Hearts for Minds. Can you imagine waiting 11 years to get screened for cancer? On average, people with mental health issues experience an 11-year delay between symptoms and seeking help. And close to 2/3 of mental illnesses go untreated. Hearts for Minds promotes healthy lives by promoting mental health education, facilitating early identification, and connecting people to treatment. Are you ready to learn more? Go to heartsforminds.org. That's hearts, the number 4, minds.org for more information or to learn how you can help.
Mitch, what about Chris's favorite song? Do you know?
That's easy.
Is it Donny Osmond, Puppy Love, or is it one of those?
There's a number of songs, but if you boil it all down, it's Can't Take My Eyes Off You.
Yes.
Oh my gosh. And you guys are going to go see Frankie Valli.
Oh, no, we're
seasons.
not.
We've already.
No, we're not. We've been there 3 times.
Oh, you're
and
not?
I can't
He
do
doesn't.
what he's
He doesn't
what's
sing
happening
anymore.
right now. I can't
Okay,
even
because
do that.
we must have just talked about the fact that he's coming to town.
Yeah,
and,
can't do
and
it.
we've talked on this podcast about how they send him out. It's so sad. Have you seen these videos of what they do with Frankie
It's
Valli?
not good.
It's almost
It's
like
not
they wind him
good.
up and send him out onto the stage, and he
We made that
barely.
mistake with Tony Bennett, and he sang about
Oh.
15 seconds of each song.
Yeah.
Oh.
Look,
That was
can't-
our wedding song.
can't ask
too.
somebody who's that age
Oh.
to keep
No, we
remembering
don't know
those
why
songs.
he's
Yeah.
still out there doing that, but he is. But
Cash.
Yes.
Yeah.
But maybe I keep thinking, is he in debt or
What
there's
could it
got
be?
to
Or
there's
he
got to
just
be
joy?
a reason because now he went from being Frankie Valli to have you seen Frankie Valli?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
what about her favorite movie? What is her favorite movie? Do you know what that is? I think I do, but
Yeah, we know this.
I have a couple of
This
choices.
is you would think it was Grease, but it's Saturday Night Fever.
Saturday Night Fever. I was going to say
For the
that,
win.
or Urban Cowboy.
Or
is way
Urban
high up there
Cowboy.
too. She's definitely got a
Yes.
favorite person in a movie.
I've seen Urban Cowboy and Saturday Night
And she
Fever.
also likes Pulp Fiction.
Yeah, and I do love Pulp
So you're a big
Fiction.
John Travolta
Yeah, I
fan.
love John Travolta. Love him.
Okay. What about for me? Do you know mine?
I know there's 2 that I think I would
Okay.
pick.
Yep.
Princess Bride,
Yes.
Oh,
Love Actually.
Love Actually. Yep.
that is my son-in-law's favorite movie.
Love Actually. Does he say it's a Christmas movie? Because I feel
He
like it
does
is.
say it's a Christmas
Yeah,
movie.
I think it is.
He
too.
does. I
think it
don't
is
know.
too.
Yeah.
Notice we're not asking you guys your favorite.
I know
movies.
what
This is
his
like,
favorite
what
movie
it?
is. The Big Lebowski.
Oh,
He loves The Big
that's
Lebowski.
definitely a cult classic.
Yes, a cult classic. And music, anything with the Grateful Dead.
Really?
Yeah, he's a Deadhead.
Shut up. I never knew that.
He loves the Dead.
But I will say on the
Wow.
movie side, also I go with Goodfellas too.
Oh, that's right. That's right. We both love Goodfellas.
Steve, I'm trying to think of your favorite movie. You love you. First of all, let me tell you, he
it's gonna be
loves.
disappointing if you don't get this.
I'm going to say Hoosiers.
There you go.
But I mean, I know that, but I'm just saying you also love a really bad movie. He likes to watch, if it's a really bad, like rom-com.
I'll watch it till the end. It makes her angry. She's
I can't
physically angry. She's mad at the TV.
When
It's hilarious.
they do things that seem illogical.
Oh my God.
I'm like, Why would anyone say that? Why would anyone do that? And I'm just yelling at the theater. If it's not, I mean, at the movie,
Right.
and he's just watching and enjoying. And he's like, and the worse it is, I just get madder. And he can just stay with it. He can stay with a movie for the whole time. But that's just his attitude. He's happy all the time. So he's just always glad to be there.
I will say that I use the pit of despair line from Princess Bride a lot.
Okay. See, but that movie is just brimming with opportunities. Yeah. And even our son, I don't know if he ever went all the way through with it, but he had to do a monologue for class. So he did the whole thing about which poison, which cup had I chosen this one.
Right.
So funny. Okay. So where are we at? Oh, I got it. This one's such a good one.
Okay.
Mitch, fill in the blank. Christine owns more blank than anyone I know.
When I saw that question, I thought there's only one thing I can say to this. Masks with lasers on them. I walk in the bedroom and I'm in the Transformers movie.
Yeah, because I just got a new one the other day. And he's like, what is that?
Our dog looks at her like, what is going on?
Oh my gosh. I heard she FaceTimed your grandson with one on the other day.
And I got yelled at. Yeah. That's
I didn't know they made them in all these different styles.
Yeah, but
There's a ton of different lasers.
Man.
Every light's a different reason.
And I told her this. I told her if she couldn't back it up with amazing skin, I would laugh harder than I do. But she's got this great complexion to back it up, so it's hard for me to really poke fun at it.
I have to admit one thing that I have a fault. I do. I'm admitting it.
Stop.
I love gadgets. I love to try gadgets. And if they don't work, I always give them to somebody else and say, here, you may like it. You're younger than me. It may work better for you, whatever. But I love to at least try and give it at least a good 6 weeks to see if there's any difference, no matter what it is. If it's for your eyes, for your neck.
I just wish that when you tried these things, you'd wear a lab coat. It would make it so much more. You could probably write it all off. If
I'm
you did
telling
that.
you, I agree.
Boy, back in the days of Ronco in the 70s, you would have been buying all that stuff.
And we're so suggestible as it is. But that's where it all started.
The TV stuff that they would sell in the middle of the night. I never was really into any of that. I'm not. If it's about cooking or it's always about skincare, makeup, hair, anything.
You don't need to slice or dice it. You just want to be able to keep.
Yeah, exactly.
Keep all this.
Did you have a Popeil pocket fisherman?
I remember we had the potato thing. You could make French fries.
Right. I remember that. It slices, it dices.
And Julianne's.
Yeah.
I got the lock wrench.
Oh, the lock wrench. I remember the fisherman. I also wanted the one that would cut a bottle into a glass you could drink out of. Yeah. You could just put your Coke bottle in or whatever, and it would just cut it so smooth you could literally make drinking glasses out of your.
We are so old, aren't we?
I know.
Oh my god.
Or the chia pet that would grow the hair.
Oh yes.
Yeah.
But they would get us because after going out and you have a few drinks and then you get home, you turn on the TV. This is before the internet.
Sure.
If you had that late night TV and you were like, I could really use that. Yeah. I could use that lock wrench.
Then there was the whole.
I don't think I ever used it.
QVC thing where you could hear other people call in and say how much they loved theirs.
Oh yeah, I was a big QVC HSN watcher. I never really bought anything off of it. I just was fascinated, like how people would call in and say something works so great, or they'd show it right there in real time, how half their face would be terrible until they used this makeup or skincare, and then they looked amazing. I was never into buying it. I just really enjoyed watching it.
We went through a short phase where we were watching it for a little bit. Did we buy that battery charger for your car? Like you keep it in your car and it'll charge your car if your battery dies. I don't
think we ever pulled the trigger.
No, I think we looked at something like that, but yeah.
We were tempted.
I've come close.
Yeah, the other night he wanted to buy a generator that he saw online or something because it was hurricane time. And I said, what are we going to do with this
Solar-powered
humongous
generator.
solar-powered generator?
Doesn't work.
This is what happens when you live in Florida. You start to panic. And then when hurricane season's over, you pretend it never even existed.
Yeah, and that would be the time to buy the generator. But do you do it? Never. It's
No.
always like next
You would
year.
thank him when you could charge your masks and have them.
Oh, I told him if we need a generator, I need to evacuate. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah,
No
you need
AC.
to-
Yeah,
We're
I
going
got.
to a hotel.
Yeah, I have to go somewhere with all my masks. I'll bring
Yes.
them with me, but you can't do a mask when you have no AC in Florida.
It seems counterproductive.
Yes. Yeah.
It seems like it would be your priorities would be a little off in that instance. Let's see. So do you have anything you want to answer for me on that I own more of?
There's two things.
Okay.
I know both of them. And Christine would know. Running shoes.
Yes,
You have a lot of running shoes.
I do.
And hats.
hats and running shoes. Yes.
And I'm not sure which you have more of. It could be 50-50.
It's close.
It's close. It was close.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I did purge a lot.
You did.
purge a lot.
I have to admit.
Mitch, has being married to Christine always been easy? How could it not be just nothing but a cakewalk?
Yeah, it's just so super easy all the time.
Super easy. Like she
No.
is easy going, easy
No, of
peasy.
course. I don't think that anybody who's married for 3 decades could say it's always easy. We've had our hard times. Overall, the long game has been very easy.
Oh, I would say the long game is really the only way to get through some of those.
Right.
Those times. You have to make a decision. Are you playing the long game?
Right.
I know you're going to say it's amazingly easy to be married to me because I'm just so delightful all the time.
It's a give and take process, right?
Yes, that's
I
true.
mean,
Compromise.
You just figure things out as you go.
Yeah. There's no like pearls or anything to drop there, but if you
Well, what
don't
if that
tell
question is
truth,
reversed? Seems like Steve
Yeah.
and I are like the easiest going people you could ever be married to.
it does seem like that.
You know what? My whole theory when you've been married a really long time is you're going to have good times, you're going to have rough times, you're going to have happy times, you're going to have sad times. It's never going to be perfect ever. And when you're young and naive, you think it's like a fairy tale and you think that everything should be great every single day and you should be madly, hopelessly in love like you were the day you got married. And life happens. And now that we're at the end towards the later part of being married,
Dark.
I just think a challenge to get there, but once you get there,
Yeah.
it was worth going through all that.
Yeah. There's definitely chapters. Would you agree?
Sure. Well, you know what I say now? You should listen to this podcast because you can get quality intel because it's really hard being a woman.
Yes.
From what I've learned.
Yes. Well, and I also feel sorry for men because the perimenopause, the menopause, and they don't understand it. They don't get it, but they're getting hell for it.
They're
You know what I
getting the brunt of
mean?
it.
They're getting the brunt of it. And they're like, wait, why is she like Sybil from that movie now? You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, when did this happen? I just think that men they're not understood for what they go through when women go through those because there's not really a lot of education on it or telling men, hey, stay clear.
I remember.
That's why they invented golf and alcohol.
Yeah.
And both of you guys seem to have found those two little outlets, those escapes. There was a story, I think I was in college at the time, and Mitch, you were probably in law school around the time when this story was a woman using PMS as a defense in a murder suit, which really brought to light that menopause, hormones, PMS, like how serious do you take PMS when there are literally people in court arguing whether or not it was reason for her to snap?
Yeah.
You don't have to comment from a legal aspect.
Yeah, we're never going to codify that into law, but it does make sense.
Right, but I feel like that had to put a little bit of fear into men everywhere when they saw that was like, oh, that really is PMS is really to the point where they feel like they could push that through.
That's when we put safe rooms in our home.
Yes.
Is it over yet? Is it
Steve, what are you getting at?
Also, I think for him, because we have 2 daughters, so living with 3 women.
God bless.
I can't believe he still survived all that. 3 women having their periods, 3 women. He'd even say to me, why is she crying? Like, what happened? I'm like, just ignore it. Just ignore it. It's fine. He's even the week of the wedding. He was like, why is she crying?
Oh, gosh.
I just think that they're really great about just being more supportive than anything else.
Sense of humor probably is hugely important, I would think.
Yes.
So any advice you guys want to give to other husbands of midlife women, or you feel like you're not fully developed yet there and you're still learning every day?
I'm still learning every day, every podcast.
Every podcast.
Menopause is not a phase. I learned that. I did not know.
Yeah, and it's not. Thank you, Steve.
He learned so much. He quotes back to me all the time. Today I learned.
Listen, it's helpful.
Oh, that makes me feel good.
There you go. It's just I'm not listening. You can't pay me enough.
I hear it all.
He hears it all. I always tell him what this week we're going to be talking about, and you know.
Are you making him watch The Golden Bachelorette though? Because I'm being.
You know what? I think because I tape it. We have not watched The Golden Bachelorette together, but he can thank me for that. You know what I mean?
Every now and then she'll have it on.
And he'll comment.
Pretend not to watch it.
I feel like I'm taking one for the team.
It's like looking into the sun.
Yeah.
You can't help it. You're like, what is going on?
What I say when I'm watching it with him is constantly, I'm always like, see, this is who's out there. This is who's out there. Please get a checkup. Please take care of yourself.
Right.
Like, I can't.
Yes.
I
think The Golden Bachelorette has made more women stop and evaluate their own marriage and think, I can make this work.
I might have to stick.
It's gonna work.
Stick this out or end up with chalk.
Exactly.
Because they're not all Pascal.
No, they're not.
All right, you guys, thank you so much for spending a little bit of time with us. That was at a time of day where you don't really know where we're at or what we're doing.
Right.
This is where we've been coming.
Yes.
A couple, times a month. We've been meeting here, and this.
Oh, this is nice.
Yeah, it's a nice studio. Isn't this nice? It is. So for those listening right now, we love having you listen. We love that a lot of you are already on our Ladies Only Facebook page. It's free to join. So please do hit us up over there. And also we have Patreon, which Steve listens to a lot of sports podcasts and watches them. And he's always trying to tell me what you and I should be doing next.
Oh,
so he'll be like, you guys need to do this on your Patreon and this on your
Yes.
YouTube. And I'm just like, we're just doing our best here.
Right.
We're just two
old
50+
ladies doing our best.
We're just doing our best to be on all the things.
Yes.
On all the socials,
Yes.
on all the things. So you can find all of that in our show notes. Please share us with one friend.
Yes.
And expecting perfection out of your significant other is something you can let go.
And don't look back.
It is Ryan here, and I have a question for you. What do you do when you win? Like, are you a fist pumper, a woohooer, a hand clapper, a high fiver? If you want to hone in on those winning moves, check out Chumba Casino. Choose from hundreds of social casino-style games for your chance to redeem serious cash prizes. There are new game releases weekly, plus free daily bonuses. So don't wait. Start having the most fun ever at ChumbaCasino.com.
Sponsored by Chumba Casino. No purchase necessary. VGW Group. Void where prohibited by law. 18+. Terms and conditions apply.
How do you feel when you switch to Geico and save on your car insurance? It's like going to work on one Thursday morning and thinking to yourself, just one more day until Friday. But then somebody in the elevator says, Happy Friday! Then you check your phone quickly and discover today is actually Friday. So yes, Happy Friday, random stranger in the elevator. Happy Friday indeed. Yep, switching and saving with Geico feels just like that. Get more with Geico.